One of the main objectives of the main quest of Starfield will be the solving of humanity's last mystery regarding life in the universe, and while at this point we were not given any official explanation or detail about what that mystery could be, the gameplay trailer Bethesda shown us earlier this year may have given us some clues about what we might find out throughout our adventures. Let's talk about it, shall we? Hello and welcome to the channel, it's the Eradicator, and so in today's video we will talk about Starfield and the mystery that will revolve around its main storyline. And I am not going to pretend that I know anything about it. I am just like you, I don't have any insider news. I've just seen the official images that the studio has released to the public ever since the project was revealed all those years ago. However, amongst the fragments of game footage that we were shown, there was one particular element that caught my attention, and it was anything related to what was introduced to us as being artifacts and whatever seems to have formed once these artifacts are put together. Now, if you pay attention in the trailer, the artifacts are mentioned and seen shortly after we're informed about the last mystery that needs to be solved, indicating that there will be a central piece of the puzzle indeed. But then, this raises the following question. What puzzle could it be? What could be that question that 25th century humanity would still be wondering about? Is there life somewhere in the universe? Well, the trailer shown us that it is quite ubiquitous. Could we become an interplanetary species? Obviously, yes. Are we the first, or are there any other civilizations out there? Well, if those artifacts are not human-made, then the answer is quite obvious here. Where is life as we know it from? And why do these alien creatures all look similar in the way that they could have been found on Earth? Could the artifacts be the key to those answers? What will come next will be pure theory crafting, but I believe I have a possible answer from the material that from some material at least, that could have inspired the developers of the game. Take a look at these images here and compare them with what has become once the artifacts are put together. The resemblance is striking, isn't it? What you're looking at here are pictures made, some people made based on the biblical description of angels, or here, one particular type of angel. Now, don't get me wrong, I am not going to make any form of proselytism here. I am in fact an atheist, but I do try to keep an open mind as much as possible, and I like the idea that the most successful myths are based on certain truth, which is why they appear so credible to those who follow them. Now, what if this was indeed the mystery the writers of Starfield had picked for us? What if that mystery was indeed a discovery of what happened before us, or what influenced us to become who we became? I, for one, would find it fascinating if that rebuilt entity was indeed a several million-year-old being or several billion-year-old being that had reached a higher level of existence under the form that we are seeing here. And even at that fragmented state, that being still seems to have some interesting powers, as it seems to be attempting to speak to people, as this character tells us right here.
He who saw me this told me that it spoke to him.
So, can you imagine what it could do if fully reconstituted? Can you imagine the interactions a human being of the 25th century could have with such a powerful being? The questions we could ask and answers that we could understand could be fascinating. Of course, we would want to know where or when they are from, how many there are out there, or whether there are more powerful beings out there in the universe, ones so ancient and advanced that their very existence would place us well beyond our comprehension capabilities, so much so that they would even appear to us as gods. And what if there was only one left? A lone survivor, one of a kind, immortal and almighty, set on a higher plane of existence. It could have, for example, it could have been several billion years old. It could have happened several billion years ago, and it decided to seed life on planets that could harbor it in an effort to recreate the process that eventually led to its existence. It could have visited us over the past thousands of years, seeing our evolution from primitive to civilized beings, along with those beings from the trailer. What if Starfield's mystery was the revelation of what we call God? I know that this theory may sound crazy to a lot of you, but in fact, there are other hints from the trailer that point toward this direction. One being that religions, although different from those that we know nowadays, are still a thing in Starfield's 25th century, and that there is even a cult that worships a supposedly giant space snake. Does that ring a bell? Of course, it could refer to Eden's snake that tempted Adam and Eve and sent us to the place that we are now. Surely, it's obviously not exactly what happened, but it could be a metaphor of an event that happened billions of years ago. For example, maybe with an experiment that so-called snake could have done, right? Or maybe perhaps that hypothetical immortal being did with microbes that could have gone wrong and eventually were ditched on Earth, right? Or maybe similar planets, and eventually that being waited to see what would have happened, right? Eventually, they met some humans who, given their lack of knowledge, could not understand the true nature of what would have been revealed, and ended up with the monotheist religions that we have today. I would personally love this if this was indeed Starfield's last mystery. Does God exist? And if yes, what is it? I would love it if the game would try to take the texts written thousands of years ago with the knowledge and context of that time and would give us an interpretation that modern, rational, and scientific people of the third millennium would eventually understand. I think that it would be very bold of Bethesda to do so, very strong and awe-inspiring. Now, of course, I could be completely off the mark here too. I am probably very off the mark, completely wrong, but at least this is my theory about the game's mystery. But let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think will be the last mystery humanity would still have to solve in the 25th century? I cannot wait to read out your thoughts and opinions, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I wanted to give a big shout out to my Patreons too, who make this content possible on the channel. It's been the Eradicator. Have a great day. I'll see you guys later.